guys, it's Heather from Crafting and Recovery. I hope everybody is well, and I hope you are all loving yourselves. I am doing a flip through today of this vintage Shabby Fashion Journal. I made, and I'm trying to get flip throughs of most of my journals on so people can look them up and check them out, since, you know, we don't really get a whole lot of space to show our stuff on Etsy. I know they upped it to 20 videos, but I mean 20 pictures, but it's flip throughs for me personally, I think, are better. Anyway, so this I made my porch prints has these box templates that you can get, and so for this one I did a box. It's got this really pretty paper on it, and I thought it'd be cool, like a little storage keepsake box. And I decorated the inside. And I just, this is just a little lace flower that I made. I think I watched a video on G's channel too. And then here is the base. I also put this really pretty paper. I love this paper. I got it, can't remember the name of it right now, but I got it at Hobby Lobby and it's absolutely gorgeous. So here is my vintage fashion journal. I did some Mod Podge on this little piece of ephemera and just put it on here on the sari silk. So this unties and comes off, and this is a tag that I made. These are all ruby and pearl digitals also, I believe. I did get, no, there's one other shop. I got some digitals from some vintage fashion digitals also, some French ones from another shop. I'll list them in the description box. I can never remember right off the top of my head. But anyway, this can be used as a journaling card also. And, sorry, hitting the camera, Heather. Okay, so this is the cover, and I basically just did like a patchwork. So I have some of the pieces. This is an old Sears catalog piece of paper, and then this is some ephemera from Ruby and Pearl. And these little squares I absolutely love. I did some on the back also, but I just pieced them all on there and then took it to my sewing machine and sewed them on. Here's another, oh, that's right, silk is shedding. It won't come off. Sorry guys. Here we go. So this, there's a whole bunch of these little squares of fabric that I got, and they're so cute. I love them. So I just did some more little pieces of ephemera from Ruby and Pearl. I think this is from Sampool, but I love how it turned out though. And it's a soft cover, so it's all squishy, and I just love it. I love the feel of the soft covers. So we open it up. Hold on guys, I gotta fix this. Something's, my phone's all, oh good Lord. Phone, just stay in place, please. There. Okay. So here's a little tag that I made with some Tim Holtz tape. This little coffee dyed lady. And then I did some texture paste on these vintage book pages. Here's just another little old catalog spread. And then this is another piece of this is the, good Lord, you guys, I'm so sorry. I cannot talk today. This is from the Sears catalog. This is from Ruby and Pearl, and so is the digital. Let me get the rusted paper clip off here. It's stuck. And then I basically just Mod Podged the cover of this. And then this is some vintage wallpaper print from Ruby and Pearl. And then I just added this for some extra journaling space. And then I Mod Podged the back also. So there's that. And then the covers, the inside covers, look at this little Singer sewing machine. I don't know if you guys can see it very good. So cute. Anyway, this is a lace pocket, and then the inside covers, these are digitals from Ruby and Pearl. And then I took vintage magazine cutouts and I Mod Podged them and like this flower on. So it's all Mod Podged really well, and it's not going anywhere, but I just like the effect that it made. I'm gonna need to put some more glue right there. Anyway, and so these are the digitals that I got from the other shop, and I will list it below. I cannot remember where, but they are so pretty. I absolutely love them. I love how this journal turned out. So, like I said, the digitals are all from Ruby and Pearl, except for some of the like fashion ones, like these catalog fashion ones. You'll see they're from that other shop. So there's some wallpaper and some embossed vintage book page. And then I just added some ephemera in that pocket. And I lied. I'm sorry. This is from my porch prints. It's just they're little shabby Polaroids. I think they're so cute. And I just backed it with some of that watercolor vintage book page. This is another little coffee dyed. And these are all from vintage sewing books. This is a vintage magazine cutout. I love this. And then this is from Sam Poole. She has these button cards, and then also in here also I have like the fabric swatch things that you can get, the printables. So I just put some vintage buttons on here, and it's actually like a fabric covered envelope to store your stuff in, and I put the button cover on front. Gorgeous digitals. That is Amity Bloom, I think. Nope, I lied. Yes, it is. I think it is Amity Bloom. I take it back. This is a vintage music page. Thought that was pretty. And here's the swatch cards that you can get from Sam Poole for fabric. And so I just added some of the little fabrics that I used throughout the journal. But they're so cool. I love them. And I just did a lace belly band there. This is old 19, I want to say it's early 1950s Time magazine. And then this is another one of the from Sam Poole, and I just fussy cut around the flowers and added a piece of that really old book page with some of the really pretty glitter paint. I love that glitter watercolor. I'm kind of addicted to it. I go crazy with it. And then I did a little texture paste flower on this really old little piece of book page there. And then here is a little tag I made. This pretty lady on the front. And this is actually, it's a vintage, it's got the rice paper in here too. But it's a vintage wedding invitation. And it's from 1928. 1928, yeah, 1928 from Liberty, Maine. So I just took it and turned it into a journaling card, but I thought that was so cool. And some just vintage sewing ephemera. I took some of that and just added lace to it and made a belly band. This is a digital from Ruby and Pearl. These, oh gosh, I don't know if it's glaring, you guys, I'm sorry. And I printed it on photo paper, but you can journal on the back. And then this is just a piece of ephemera. So it's like the postage look on the front, but on the back it's blank. So you could actually put a picture on there or use it for journaling space, or however you want to do it. You could turn it into some cool piece of ephemera. And I had these cute little fashion stamps. So I did some stamping on the side of the page there. I think they're adorable. I got these at the dollar store. They have some of the cutest stamps. And then here's another one of those lace flowers I made. This is that vintage Sears catalog. And then these are really, really cute. These are vintage, they're like style guides, I guess, or something from 1950s, 1960s. And or maybe these are dolls. It's Sorority Sweetheart, and it talks about a mix and match outfit of checkered cotton blouse, blue wool pleated skirt, nylon stockings, and red-heeled pumps. They watched their favorite shows. And then on this side was Ring-a-Ding, and it's the whole outfit guide for, it says complete set without the doll, $3.50. So I'm assuming maybe these are what you can get to dress up like your Barbies or something from like the 1950s. But how much was this one? This one was $4 and this one was $3.50. But it's got like the little TV set and everything. Super cute. I think they're adorable. And then this is just from a piece from a vintage sewing book. Ruby and Pearl digital, I believe. And then here's just a little Eiffel Tower with some vintage lace. This is another pattern from Ruby and Pearl. This is an old vintage ledger page. And then this is a Ruby and Pearl picture, and I just added the old film covering over the top. The lady and her dog, so cute. And then this is just a vintage magazine with a little piece of ephemera. There's another one of those fashion magazines. It's Ruby and Pearl. This is an old book page, children's book page, I believe. Yes, it's Cinderella. And some collage, Cinderella, Sears catalog. And I did some, yep, Heather, yes, sewing pattern. I cannot think today. This old vintage catalog picture of a nurse's outfit. This is just an old magazine order form. And some more of those really beautiful pages. Wallpaper. Old dictionary page. Vintage music. Love is a many splendored thing. I love that song. And then here's another lace pocket. This is some vintage wallpaper. And then I have just added another picture printed on that photo paper. It's so pretty. I love the way they used to dress in the old days. Everybody always looked so classy and beautiful. Some more digitals, another one of those. These are so cool, and I will definitely list the shop below. I cannot remember, but they're so pretty. That's Ruby and Pearl. And then here's another one of those little shabby Polaroids backed with the little piece of lace. This is a rub-on that I did. And then this is a cutout from it's just a vintage cutout from an old magazine, but I just thought it was cute. Okay. Measuring tape ruffle I did. Some more of the sewing pattern ruffle. And there's just this little pocket here. It says beauty and simplicity, keep life simple. And then this cute little sticker with the little girls in their little clothes. And then I just included that little piece of ephemera from Ruby and Pearl. I also have kind of an addiction to Ruby and Pearl digitals. I don't know what it is, but I love them. There's some more of that. This is coffee dyed paper, and I just sewed a little piece of fabric up there in the corner, sewed around the sides. Here is some embossed cardstock, and then I did those glitter watercolors on it. And this vintage music paper, some more of the Sears catalog. There's a little tuck. Pretty on there. And then here is, this flips out. That's also ruby and pearl. So pretty. And then here is an old, from a sewing pattern. Just an old piece of ephemera that's stuck in there. I cannot believe that Christmas is almost here already, you guys. This year went by so incredibly fast. It is just blowing my mind. I do not understand where the time goes anymore. I swear it just flies by. Here's another one of those really pretty pictures with her and her flowers. And I just aged it, put some tape on there. And this is from Sampool. This is another one of the little, like, I'm pretty sure these are like for fabric too, for fabric samples. So I just stuck it over the top of the page, the picture, so whoever gets this can make whatever they would like out of it. Thankfully, my children, and we all agree that Christmas is just overrated anymore as far as the commercial side of it. So we're just gonna play a game of White Elephant again this year, which is really, really fun. There's the other side of that vintage page. And then I did this applique on here. These are so pretty. And here's another lace pocket, some vintage lace. Picture of a little lady all dressed up with her flowers. They're so beautiful. They used to dress so gorgeous. And then these little scissors. These are so cute. I don't know if any of you guys have ever played the White Elephant, but it's actually really fun. You never know what you're gonna end up with. Let me know in the comments if any of you guys have ever played the White Elephant game for Christmas. Here's another coffee dyed paper with some vintage lace on the side. This beautiful lady. And then this is a vintage picture. I want to say probably from the 1950s or maybe 60s. But I thought she was so pretty with her hat. So I included that in it. A little sticker here. It's the other side of that. And then here's just a little tuck, a little shabby chair on there on that vintage music paper. And then here's some more. Those babies are so cute. Little picture. Just a little piece of ephemera. Some more of that vintage sewing. And then this is also a little tuck. You can tuck stuff up in here in the little shabby heart. Here's the other side of that. And then in here is just some little offcuts from some of the Ruby and Pearl digitals. And this is from that 1950s Time magazine. But look at how beautiful. It's so delicate. This thing wants to fall apart so bad. And I didn't want to fold it, but there was no other way to include it, so I had to fold it. But I'm trying to get, here, maybe if I turn it this way so you can see the whole thing. Get it in frame here. Isn't that so beautiful? And then on the back, there's more of the pictures of the, it's just the styles from the 1951. So beautiful. Anyway, so I folded that up and put that in there. And this is the back cover. So it's also the Mod Podged sewing pattern from Ruby and Pearl. And then I just Mod Podged on this. And this is also a vintage, from a vintage like clothes magazine that I Mod Podged on there. There we go. And this goes in here also. So that is that. And then I showed you guys the back. So I hope you guys liked it. These, all the journals that I've been doing flip throughs to are still available in my Etsy shop. If you know anybody who likes fashion, especially vintage fashion, which I find absolutely fascinating. I love the way that women used to dress. So yeah, and then all of my journals always come with a big, I'll grab part of the, so the ephemera pack for this one is just vintage rickrack. There's some rub-ons, just pieces of paper, some little pieces of ephemera. I included some lace. There's some little flowers, tons of different offcuts. There's a bunch of buttons in this ephemera pack, vintage buttons, and some gold embossed stuff. There's just a ton of papers and things that whoever gets this can use in the journal. And I also included, there's one more little cute little picture of a little girl. The buttons are falling everywhere, Heather. And then there's also the piece that was left from the, so I always include big ephemera packs with all of my journals because I think it's the fun part is getting all the little stuff that you can make the journal your own. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day and take care of yourselves. Thanks.